Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After Podcast.
What is up, guys? And today, Joe, the angel, the fallen angels, is what he came up with. And essentially, it's very selective in the sense of like the criteria is you have to be the final jury member, which basically means you were voted out or eliminated on day 37 in Sydney's case, or 38, you're the fourth person eliminated, or the third, depending on what season. But basically, you didn't make it to Final Travel, and you're the last jury member.
Yeah. And you had to be in a position where, say, you take out whoever won the season or whoever, you could potentially win the season.
Yeah.
So they had to have, as you can't just pick some random Joe Schmo who made it there. Like Lydia from Guatemala is not really
No.
a fallen angel.
Well, I mean, technically Ray from Guatemala
Oh,
because it
yeah,
was a final
Rafe.
two.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it was a final three, and then Ray, or if it was final three, and then Lydia, it would be like, oh, this person, like,
Yeah.
now there was a few I was looking at because there are some where it's like, oh, it's kind of a random person, even though it was a really great season. But no, I think we picked some solid picks all around.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, I'm excited to just hop into it. So let's go. So starting off here first, I got the first person. We got Brett Closer from Survivor Samoa, and now you might be asking yourself, who's Brett? Now that's a good question because we don't really get to see Brett on the screen very much until like
No.
the last little bit of screen time. But the thing is, he wins the season if he wins that final immunity, because clearly no one was going to be voting for Russell to win the game. And they only were really going to be wanting to vote for Natalie or Mick because they just didn't want Russell to win. But
Yeah.
there were way more of those that tribe that were on the jury that would totally be voting for Brett, who was on their tribe, who they clearly had more of a connection to. We just didn't really get to see it.
I think because of his relevance. Because,
Yeah.
like, what we saw of the Purple Tribe, yeah, there was a lot of people, but Brett wasn't ever causing any drama or making too many strategic moves. So I feel like if he won the season, he probably would have had a different, or if he made it to Final Tribal, he probably would have had a much different edit. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But as Russell Hance said, he ain't no Mike Tyson. So we'll
no.
see how he does compared to honestly a lot of these players who at least a lot of them have got shown to be pretty big presences on the season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Moving on next to Sydney Gillen from Survivor a Co Wrong. And she was someone who I thought would played a very strong game. I know that it's a little questionable, say, if she gets there instead of Michelle, if she ends up winning, because some people were a little upset with her, a little bitter that she kind of ended up flipping on, say, like the Jason Scott kind of grouping there. Um,
Yeah.
and but I still think that she would have been able to beat Aubrey and Ty because it clearly they were also upset at Aubrey and Ty, or they didn't respect Aubrey's game in the time, and they were upset at Ty. So I think by that kind of nature, I definitely think she would have won the season if she ends up winning that final immunity, taking out Michelle. Um, but yeah, I think just another great player, and excited to see how she does.
I agree. I agree. I mean, that one is also tricky too because, like, with her, because of Joe's untimely, like, or like his untimely medevac that happened literally at 5.
Yeah,
And, it was a day where it was like, okay, well, they have, challenges coming up. They kind of had to course correct, adjust from that. And then that's when they got the idea, oh, well, it was an idea they wanted to implement for a while now or pitched around, but because, the showrunners are like, all right, how do we do our finale? They kind of had to be like, oh, vote someone off you can vote off a jury member. So if she's in that mix of that final three, and if she won that challenge, um, it's like a huge what if, but I do see
Mhm.
some merit to her possibly winning the game.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
All right. Next up from Survivor China, we got Denise Martin. And Denise, I don't think we may have had her once on our channel,
Hmm.
but I don't remember her being on our channel before.
Yeah, she
I know
was.
there's
She had to have been an early boot.
yeah, but basically, I think the reason why I could see her winning China was that she, had a good story going out there of like, oh, she's the lunch lady, she has kids, stuff like that. She could have been a very sympathetic, person at the end and could possibly garner a lot of votes as a result.
Mhm.
Does she win? I mean, it really depends on the jury because I know she would have had to share it with either Todd or Courtney or Courtney, Amanda, or Amanda and Todd, whichever one. But I feel like she could have definitely gotten some votes, sympathy votes. Also, some people are like, oh, well, the other three were kind of villainous. Though Amanda not as much, obviously, as Todd. And, they were playing pretty strong games, burned some bridges. So there is a possibility, especially since it was like that, mid-school Survivor where it was like, you know, stuff like that can really hold weight at a tribal council, a final tribal council.
Mhm. Yeah, it definitely seemed like the final few people took that into big account that her story would just win the game, even though she didn't really do anything on the season. Like
Not really.
she was just kind of there. Yeah, I mean, I'm torn because I understand that this was Survivor 15, so it was in that era where that matters. But I also feel like there's a lot of people who were game players who kind of respected the strategy because they ended up voting for Todd, who they
Yeah,
vote for Todd because he played the better strategic
best
game.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I do wonder if say Todd isn't there, he's the final jury member, and Denise gets to the end. I don't know. I think we maybe see like Courtney somehow like end up winning the season because because she also played a very good strategic game that was unexpected.
true. I mean, I'll also be transparent.
Yeah.
Because we had a very specific criteria, I had to find that where it was, also memorable, impactful in some way. And also filling out the roster, making sure it's not too lopsided to one of the two genders
Hmm.
that have landed on that spot. So, and I felt like Denise, there was a bit of more than some of the other people that fell into that category.
Hmm.
You know, there was more merit than some other people, like in 36 or I'm not like 37. There were some where I'm like, oh, they were there, but were they the best contestants on that show? Not really.
Yeah.
Or like, were they as memorable as who they shared with? I feel Denise is semi. Yeah, like she's memorable, but like we don't remember her gameplay as much, more so of her, story. So
Yeah.
I feel like, she was a bit of a better bring to this than some of the others.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Next up, we have from Survivor Borneo and All Stars. We have Jenna Lewis. And she, you know, it's one of those things where, because it was a very bitter jury in All Stars.
Hmm.
So if Jenna won that final immunity, she probably would have won because it's
Yeah.
like, do you really vote for Amber after that? Or like, do you really vote for Boss and Rob? Because basically, those were the only two choices. They weren't big fans, except the only people that were big fans of Boston Rob and Amber were their alliance members, which was Jenna and Rupert. So I feel like Jenna would, because basically Rob was the face of it, and then some people with Amber is like, oh, they just didn't want Rob to win, so they voted for Amber. If Jenna makes it to the end, it's very hard to say. Like it's one of those things where she probably would have won
Yeah,
most likely.
yeah, 100%. I think she beats either Rob or Amber pretty handily. Because it was a very upset jury. No one really wanted to even vote on
Yeah.
that jury for either of them. Um, and yeah, I think Jenna would have been just easily. It probably would have been a unanimous vote, honestly.
Yeah. Also, I don't think I've ever brought Jenna. I think I may have brought Jenna once, but another thing where, and I think there are some people that we haven't seen a while on this channel, so like it'll be cool to kind of see them. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's another reason why I kind of like this one because it was like, oh, we haven't, hell, even Sydney we haven't seen in a while. Though I know we've definitely brought her quite a few times.
yeah. So I
Um,
think some of the early seasons had
yeah,
her.
yeah. But yeah, so Jenna's here, one from the original, and I think this one too, the criteria, or like basically because of our theme, we get to choose. Basically, it's like someone from each season is eligible, and so like it was kind of cool going back to the earlier ones and being like, oh, we haven't brought this person in a while, or oh, you know. So yeah, I had fun with it.
Nice, nice. Well, we'll see how Jenna does here. Moving on to someone who has won on our channel before. We got Jesse Lopez, probably one of the most modern, iconic fallen angels, at least in my opinion.
I think in a majority of people's like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean the whole season was like he they gave him the winner's edit of 43. Like he had so much screen time and he was around like a lot of pretty big characters and yet he was dominating confessionals and like I love Jesse but like I don't think he's like the biggest character out of all of these names but they were giving him ample amount of screen time
because
to
he played
to
such a
shine.
spectacular game, and
Yeah,
also like the strategy and his
yeah,
bromance with Cody.
yeah,
Like there were a
yeah,
lot of things. Also, his story, his backstory of
yeah.
everything is big.
Yeah, yeah, but still, I mean, I feel like Survivor will still be like, well, this one character, like Cody, for instance, is so good. Let's give a lot of Cody, and then we'll make sure we get the good stuff of Jesse, but maybe not. But let's make sure the character shines. But they really kind of made sure to have Jesse take over almost in a different way, where he was now actually the one really in being shown all of this stuff, even though Cody was in
The,
essence a bigger character. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean Jesse is one of my favorites modern era players. I think he's amazing, and I can't wait to see what he does here.
agree, agree. I mean, this has been the series of two-time winners.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we're getting to the
possibly,
point where I think it's becoming more easy for a two-time winner to emerge.
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, special. I mean, you've done it now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah. If I
But I
can
mean,
do it, then Jesse can do it.
no, if I can do it, because I'm a much worse competitor than you. If I can do it, anyone can.
Yeah. Uh,
All right. So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, moving on next to Chaos Cass. Now this one's an interesting one because obviously the storyline that gets told a lot is that Wu made a mistake by voting out Cass instead of Tony there, which obviously it would have been better for Wu to take out Tony and go with Cass, but I strongly believe that that's a very close vote between Cass and
Yeah.
Wu. Like we're probably looking at like a 5-4-6-3 scenario of a vote. And I also believe that that was a cast that way more valued strategy and like actually playing that more strategic game, whereas Wu wasn't really doing that. He was coasting through, winning some challenges, which if it was say Survivor 15 or Survivor, in that mid season, yeah, Wu beats Cass. But I think we had hit a new era of how Survivor players think that would have awarded Cass the win if she did make it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, it is it's one of those things where, yeah, they've had time to think, stuff like that. Um, I think honestly that Final Four, however it dished out, like, I think it's very playable with that finale, of who could have won. I think all their winners' equity was pretty high. They all had like different
Yeah.
stories on how they got there.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think Cass was a great pick.
yeah. I know she's been on the channel a couple of times. I don't think I'm trying to think if she did anything crazy. I feel like she maybe made it to like mid merge, maybe almost the finale.
I think almost to the finale, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see how she does this time.
All right, next up, we have one of our best contestants. We have Kelly Wentworth. Obviously, in 31 in Second Chance, Kelly Wentworth, her first season, she didn't shine as well. I mean, she did get a lot of screen time on her tribe when she was winning and stuff, but it was really the tribe swap. Her dad kind of was, not in big favor, and so she
Yeah.
had to like team up with her dad, and so she didn't quite, you know, have the best first go. But her second time, she still had to struggle. And if it wasn't for her finding the advantages, finding the idols and everything, she wouldn't have gotten as far. And, I think her fight was great. And if it was Kelly and yeah, if it was Kelly at the end of there, even if it was up against Jeremy, I think it's a very strong chance she would have won. Like I
Yeah.
think it would have been close, like we were talking about, kind of like similar with Cass and Yule. I think it might be like a 5-4, 6-3, or whatever the jury was at that point. Or it would be like a 6-4 or maybe a 5-5, and then Spencer, what was her name?
Tasha?
Tish, Tasha, or her Tasha has to like, break the tie or something.
Uh,
I think it
yeah.
would be close.
Yeah, I remember Spencer said that he thought it was pretty clear Kelly wins if she makes it in. So and I feel like it was pretty much either Kelly or Jeremy goes home at Final Four. So in the world that would have happened, would be Jeremy goes home, Kelly makes it to Final Three, Kelly wins. Like that
Yeah,
that's really the world that probably exists. We probably don't see Jeremy and Kelly ever sitting at the end together.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But for that little hypothetical, but
Yeah.
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 All right, next up, we have a one of my favorite old school contestants. We got Lex Vandenberg. He's been on our channel a few times. He is another one where we haven't really seen in a while, so thought I'd bring him back. He hasn't had any. I mean, I think his first go around was all right, but he hasn't had too many standouts on our channel,
Mhm. Yeah. He was on our first Brantsteele
along with Kelly. Yeah,
along with Kelly. But he found out that he was Spencer's dad. Gotta remember that. And his
yeah,
and so was Tina Weston, who was also on this season. So
yeah.
uh
Some big revelations
yeah, big
down
revelations
there.
for our first brand steal.
Yeah. Yeah, so thought it would be cool to bring. Because I feel like especially in earlier Survivor, it was almost like a guarantee that whoever was third on that season could have probably won. Um, it's just like one of those,
Yeah.
yeah, it was almost like kind of sad at that point. It was like, oh man, like Terry could have won that, totally could have won that season if it was a final three, or oh, Sari would have, and I know I'm mentioning some people that are going to be on the next one, but like it's one of those things like, man, if they for that, like, back when they did final twos, it's like, wow, if they had final three, who actually would have won in that scenario?
Yeah, I mean that's a interesting conversation though because I know now that we have final three is it's now pushed back even further to that final four where now even like now it's the big threats get taken out still right before
Yeah,
so now it's like by final threes there's now like almost a guaranteed person that just who would have been taken out mid merge who now kind of just gets taken to the ends
yeah.
um so it's weird how somehow they did that to prevent the issue of that third place person just missing it. Yet now it's the fourth place person is in the exact same boat.
Well, I mean, I think it's one of those things where Survivor was like, all right, how do we make the game where voting is still obviously prominent, But I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, what do we do with the final four? Or what do we do with this? Because that's the nature of the game is voting people out. So like to kind of keep it with the times, because at the end of the day, it's one more slot. So yes, you kind of have to play to three, but it's like one more slot you have to like think about. It's like, okay, who am I going to bring to final three? And then when do I take out this as opposed for this one where it's like, oh, it's a much longer game. And then like, and I'm not saying it happened every time. There were a few contestants that made it to that third place spot where it was like, yeah, they were all right,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I felt Lex is probably not one of those people. He's obviously he made it to All Stars. He's a lot of people's favorite from back in the day.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Next up, we got another winner. We got Ozzy Luth. I never know how to say his last name, but the only name we need is Ozzy.
Yeah.
Had one of the most impressive wins on our channel before after because he kind of comes from humble beginnings of being medevac early on.
Yeah. He's
And then
like three times. Like it happened a lot.
yeah, but then he finally came back and then he just had a season where he just kept winning, and kept winning. And then won. But yeah, so I felt, especially since if we're talking like from that era of Survivor, it's one of those things where they didn't want Coach to win, and like Sophie's game was like, oh, kind of right, coaches to coattail because he's going to anger the jury. Same with Albert. Like those are one where it's if Ozzy made it to end, there's kind of a big argument that he could win because like also he willingly got himself voted off so he could make sure that the other tribe didn't have number advantage going into the merge.
Yeah.
Like because he was like, no, I can do it. And then also winning his way back to get back in the game um after being voted off again, like right after. Like, there's a lot him having to win all those duels. Like he had a very impressive resume. If he just won one more challenge, he probably would have won South Pacific.
Oh yeah, hands down. It was shocking to me watching it honestly because it feels like, oh wow, Ozzy's at Final Four. He's been killing it in these challenges. He's just got to win this one. But Sophie ends up managing to beat him, and yeah, uh, clearly the jury would have voted for him. He had all of his tribe members were ready to hand him the victory pretty much. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, he could be another potential. Like I think we have like three potential two-time winners on this trip. Has Rick won one?
no, he hasn't.
Well, I mean, so we have three potential two-time winners. We'll see. There's some pretty big winners nonetheless, so very possible.
Yep, yep. Okay. Speaking of Rick Devens, we got him, and I think he's also someone who is one of the best fallen angels in my opinion. Just played a very great game, even though he did get voted off fourth. He ends up coming back into the game from Edge of Extinction, and but I don't hold it too much against him honestly, because his time out of the game was so small. He
Yeah.
essentially missed like one tribal council that he could have potentially gone to. So it wasn't that big of a deal. But
Yeah.
then he comes back into the game, wins immunities, finds idols, just absolute force. Now I do think his social game, he was socially great for the jury and for television. Terrible for trying to make any connections with the other tribe members. Now, at a certain point, it was hard for him to do it, but I think he definitely embraced it maybe a little early and said, okay, they're never going to trust me a little too early on and then kept going.
Yeah.
So like I think maybe a better player could have been able to not have to do all of that to get to the final four.
But I
um
mean, I feel like with him, there's only so much he could have done
yeah.
with all that. I mean, because coming back from the game is always a tricky situation because historically they tended to be the first ones booted out,
Yeah,
except for way back in for Islands. But like for Redemption Island, usually the first people back, it's not too long before they go right back to Redemption.
yeah,
We saw that with Matt, we saw that with Ozzy, we saw that with Laura, where she wasn't like the first one out there, but it was like 2, 3 episodes later she was back there.
yeah,
Um, it's one of those things where um coming back from the game usually puts you at a great disadvantage because the people have more time where they have bonded and stuff. So it's, and even your old connections, you're trying to like get your way back in there. It's tough. Um, but yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like Rick Devens. I like Edge of Extinction, probably because I'm a big Devens fan. So I remember like every episode when Tribal Council happened, like I was just super excited. And normally like Tribal Council can be pretty boring. I think especially modern seasons, I feel Tribal Council can be a little more just like cut by the numbers, like not really like everyone is trying to be so cryptic about what they're saying that it doesn't
Yeah.
come off as entertaining.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's tough because like everyone knows that people read into everything you say,
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah. And like sometimes And when it comes to tribal council, a lot of the times they're talking around like, oh, they're talking about the strategy itself, not specifically the strategy that applies to their specific tribe,
Hmm.
which I have noticed as well.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how Rick Devens does. He's made it pretty far on a couple of first seasons, so
Yeah.
we'll see how he does this time.
We shall.
Okay, moving on now to the Takali tribe.
All right. First up, we got Carson Garrett. And I mean, the Met, it's one of those things where, yes, Jam Jam probably wins, but Carson just played such a great game throughout. It would be hard for him not to, it's one of those things where it's like he would have a pretty good case at Final Tribal.
Mhm.
Um, it's one of those things where, oh, if it's him and Jam Jam, and if it's the original Tika 3, it's like an argument could be made that, oh, Jam Jam was at the barn where Carson was somewhat in control of the game the entire time. Yeah, I feel like Carson definitely had a lot of big winners equity going into the finale of like just even preseason. Like a lot of people are like, oh, Carson. So many people when I went to that Survivor event were like, oh yeah, Carson, Carson. They think Carson's gonna win. It was like a tie between Carson and it was a bit between Carson and Carolyn, and I felt like Jam Jam also his name was thrown around. And then there was this one idiot that kept saying, no, Kane is gonna win. I was that one idiot.
Yeah.
I wasn't an idiot, but like, for the sake of the story.
Yeah. For content. Yeah, no, I think Carson actually does have a very good chance of winning. I know that some of the jury members also thought Carson was the biggest threat at Final Four. So based off of that now obviously that's like not taken into final tribal council performance because I think Jam Jam had a great final tribal council where
One of the strongest.
yeah he was constantly cracking jokes. He was making everyone see how that he's been playing the game. If you say his name, you win home. Like that's such a great story, which might not have been in their heads before hearing his final tribal council. So um yeah, I think it's definitely close. And I just wish that we had more closer tribal councils for modern Survivor. Like
Yeah.
we need to break this 8-1 curse.
I mean, we never know with 45 or 46. It's like
Yeah.
one of those things where
If
until it's broken, we don't, or as in, until the streak is broken, it's tough to say. And like it's been a thing that's been popping up a lot obviously. And so people have been talking about it, even so much so that they're even like, oh, what about the possibility of sequestering the jury members from each other?
Yeah.
Because that also plays a factor into it. But then they're like, no, money is a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
factor.
logistics.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I will say if we get 45 and 46 having these same voting results,
they gotta.
we need to look into something to fix that.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, like, if
yeah,
they're being asked that question and stuff, like, it's a thing where they adjust for each season and whatnot, little and little. It could be a thing where even them being brought to attention that this keeps happening could be a thing where, oh, they're maybe having meetings on like, huh, since this is a pattern, what are some steps we can take?
yeah. Yeah, I know I'm getting real sick of Jeff at the their like reunion or where they all get together at the end. Him being like, "It's so hard to get just one vote, and you got that one vote. How does that make you feel?" He does that. He's done that every time, and it's like, Jeff, chill out, dude. Like,
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, it's his job as the host, so like, hype
yeah,
it up. So like, I don't give the man, I don't give him like any grief about it or anything, or I don't give him any shit because it's like, well, I mean, no shit. The host of the show has to really it's kind of like the whole thing of why they don't do the live reunions anymore to
Mhm.
begin with. It's like one of those things where it's money. A big factor of that is money. And
Yeah,
then two, it's like, well, he was kind of hyping up. It's like, oh, we're getting it with their raw emotions and stuff. But it's like, well, if that was the case, you would have done this way, way back then. I will
yeah,
say one of the cool things about it is that, and this is a side plug, I guess, the Bryce and Wen present stuff, like, the winners and stuff, they're free to like go to these like little events, whether it's Bryce and Wen or
yeah,
the one I went to for the 44 finale. And like, they have a chance to go to these, Bryce and Wen being the big one, and then get to interact with with the fans and whatnot instead of like CBS Studios and then however the hell you get tickets for that.
yeah.
Um, you know. Oh, by the way, it looks like their finale dates will be in Los Angeles. So,
Oh, nice.
you
Okay.
know, telling you ahead of time, we can bro out.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah. So yeah. That aside, yeah. But yeah, Carson, to kind of like get back to it all. Great contestant. I mean, he's definitely going to come back at some point.
Yeah,
We
I
just
mean
don't
that
know
whole
when.
team of three is they need to be
Yeah,
brought back immediately.
yeah, agree.
Okay, so that's Carson. Moving on next to someone who has one on our channel and is one of our most iconic players. We got Sheree Fields, who is also, by the way, on the new season of Big Brother.
Yep.
Um, and she's doing pretty good on there, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Obviously a big target. I feel like the second the jury phase happens, she might get flipped on, but
I mean, we're getting close to that phase too, like
yeah,
because so far there's been four eliminations out of 17. There's two left. But I mean, Cerise seems so well aligned in that,
yeah.
like for now. Obviously, she was
I think no one wants to take her out pre-jury because I think they want, if they win the season, to have Sheree vote for them.
that would be cool.
Yeah,
Also, she's just a part of like so many different alliances. The what's up, the bye bye bitches,
yeah.
the professors, even though like they're kind of done. Obviously her son's on the season, so that's like an unbreakable alliance right there.
Well, they're kind
Like,
of going against each other on this vote.
well, I don't know anything about this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop spoiling shit. I
Well,
don't
I'm
watch the
saying,
blind
hey,
dates.
listen, it's out there. It's I've been getting this just in my YouTube Shorts feed. People have been putting the title of it. So if I'm
No,
getting spoiled, you're getting spoiled.
No, that's not how we operate.
But yeah, Suri Fields, great player. Honestly, the best to never win. Especially, I mean, her Fallen Angel season of Micronesia should have been her in final three for the votes, like final
Yes.
tribal. But because of those medevacs, they kind of had to say, you know what, we need an extra tribal council here, which
Yeah.
caused Suri to end up going home, which is just so unfortunate because it was pretty much stated from the jury that they would have voted for Suri to win.
Yeah.
So we would have lost Parvati as a winner, but Suri would have been a great winner as a replacement.
Hands down. Hands
Yeah.
down. All right.
Okay.
David's you.
Sounds good. Yep. I got David Wright here, who I've said this many times. Millennials versus Gen X was my first season that I watched, and I was rooting for David so much. He was just such out of place. He was like he should not have made it that far, but yet somehow he became like this power player that ends up like controlling like the mid merge of the game. Um, and yeah, he's just a lot of fun. He's kind of a nerdy, goofy guy, and I just really, really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, agreed. Like David, flat out favorite from the beginning. Those like, he definitely came into his own in the end, so much so his second time around was a very strong contestant. Like, David is just this I wouldn't say like by far the best out of like the newer school ones, but he is definitely up there. I'd
Yeah,
say possibly top 10 for sure, without a doubt, top 20.
yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah,
I mean, like, but when I say top 20, the higher's like anywhere between 15 and 11 if he doesn't make top 10.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he's great. I definitely uh enjoy him. He's made a couple deep runs on our channel as well. But
The
hasn't
Hunger Games one.
yeah, the Hunger Games one. Yeah. But yeah, he hasn't had enough, I think, standouts to really solidify him as like a legend on our channel. So he's got some stuff to prove.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, next up, I got another one here, Jerry Manthe, who is the fallen angel of Heroes versus Villains. Felt like I had to bring her because that's such an iconic season.
Oh
And yeah,
yeah.
she literally she also would have won easily. Like it was another case of Survivor 20. Sandra was the lesser of two of three evils, I guess. Like
Yeah.
they didn't want to vote for Parvati, and they didn't want to vote for Russell, obviously. So they ended up voting for Sandra. And I feel like Jerry was basically like Sandra, but a little more palatable even for that
Yeah.
jury. So she would have been a very easy, I think, pick if she made it to the end.
Even Coley was like, can't believe that we've gotten this far and Jerry is starting to be looking like the hero of this season. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Has Jerry won on our channel before? Because I could have
Uh,
sworn she either made it really far in duos, our first step, like our Survivor duos.
I don't think she won. I can check real quick. No, no, she did not win.
Okay. I know she made it far on there, and like she
Yeah.
comes up here and there, but yeah, Jerry, great contestant. One of my favorites. Whenever someone gets to go on Survivor, and it doesn't happen these days, but get to be represented as an actor and actress, I always have to cheer for them because actors are people too.
Uh,
Um, no, I did have a discussion with someone on set about this, and she's like, "Oh, but like, they would be like, "Oh, because she was on one of the shows, this other actress on set, she was like talking about how she did, I think it was Celebrity Square or something." And then, and she said, "Oh, she had to say another profession." I'm like, "I wish they could just say, actor and stuff." It's like we're real people too. And then they're like, "Oh, well, they want to make them seem like everyday people." And my counter argument was like, oh, with Survivor, I'd say there's like three or four everyday people. Everyone else, like, they have these incredible feats behind them, like
Yeah.
Olympians or, you know,
They battled some
Carson.
illness.
Yeah, like, it's like, and I don't think it's a bad thing if, they have to get us invested with the person, why them over all these people? So, no, it makes sense. But at the same time, that was my counter argument. Um, Especially in these times where we're trying to help out our artists. How about let them go out as, an actor? But anywho,
Mhm.
tangent aside, Jerry, always someone I'm going to root for in these brand steals.
Nice, nice, nice.
Like if you did, so Joe's list came out first. So like if Joe didn't bring her, I would have.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I thought you might have also been bringing her, but I don't know. I feel like I never pick her. I feel like you're always the one
that's
bringing
fair.
her, so I was like, I want to get her in.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Kathy Vavrick O'Brien. Want to make sure I was saying that right. It's like, but yeah. So she is an actual winner on our brand steals. I know that.
That is true.
Um, it was a win. It wasn't as memorable as some of the others, but she is a winner.
Mhm.
And yeah, I felt like in my not Micronesia, Marquesas, she was a very prominent character throughout that, even when, she wasn't going to tribal council all that often. And then, she was kind of like on the bottom of her own like numbers and things like that. And then it's also like when you think about that final three and stuff, it's like I think she wins over Nalil. I think it's tough whether or not she beats Visepia. I think it's a strong possibility. I don't want to say outright. I think maybe it's like anywhere between the 40 to 60% chance. I think it would be close because some people weren't too thrilled that Kathy went against the alliance, even though she was on the bottom.
Mhm.
But yeah, for that, I was also looking, also, get some of these older seasons, some love. So yeah, figured I'd bring her out.
Yeah, I mean, I think she beats Vesepia personally. I do think she has she would have got to the numbers. I mean, I think she just had a good story overall. Like she
Mhm.
definitely kind of grew as a person into the season, which I think old Survivor would just loves that stuff. I think they would totally would give someone a win for just that alone. But I think she also was a pretty good game player too. So yeah, definitely excited to see how she does. Hopefully she can redeem herself a little bit, because even though she won that season, yeah, it was definitely not a strong win. So want
Yeah,
to see her have a stronger game here.
yeah, especially because I did really like her in Marquesas. She kind of fell to the back lines in All Stars, like she kind of got purple edited
Hmm.
for that one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Next up, I'm bringing someone from Island of the Idols. We got Lauren Beck, who I think played a very great game, but because she does come up just short and played her game mostly in tandem with Tommy Sheehan, I think she's gets kind of forgotten maybe a little bit compared to it. But I definitely think I think she beats Tommy Sheehan even potentially if they make it to the end.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I think she was just a great game player, great socially, great strategic. Yeah, I would definitely love to see Lauren make another return.
It would be cool. I met her at the last Survivor event I was in. Just like she is on TV, pretty bubbly, pretty smart and whatnot. Yeah, and like yeah, Lauren, we brought her back quite a few times on our channel. I feel like she's a safe like go to with whatever if she falls under the category of what we're whatever our theme is for Survivor players. I think she's usually one of the first people we bring because I think she is one of the better newer school Survivor contestants because like because she's so positive and very like sociable and she made moves in tandem with Tommy. There isn't a there wasn't as a lot of heat on her as some other contestants,
Yeah.
but no, she was pretty smart. She ran a lot of that game. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was just the fire making at the end that really got her.
Yeah, she is someone who played a good game on her season, but would not get targeted if she returns. Because I don't think people view like just her as a great player, which I think is wrong. But I think
I
that
think that
that's
would be a that would benefit Lauren, obviously, but I
yeah,
think for the other contestants, it would behoove them to assess the threat and really be like, she didn't
yeah,
make four. There's a reason for it, It's
yeah,
one of those things.
exactly. So I feel like she definitely would have a lot of good stake in a return.
Agreed. Agreed. All right. Next up, we got Malcolm Freeberg. Here's another man we haven't really brought in a while. Partially due to criteria. Also, I don't know, like I feel like with Malcolm, like he's here because like he was so great in the Philippines, great in 25. And then like he had this huge target on his back in Fans versus Favorites too. And then he got a pre-merge boot in the most not the most brutal way, but it was such an iconic tribal council where, it was the joint tribal council. The
Yeah,
idol was played, and then he just went home because, like, you target, the biggest threat, and he was the biggest threat on that tribe to, the other tribes. So,
yeah.
yeah, but like Malcolm was always cool. I was always excited to see Malcolm whenever I saw his name in the roster of stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was also thinking about bringing Malcolm. I'll say I was debating between Malcolm, Ozzy, and Brett. Those were the three I was actually going for, and I ended up choosing Brett. I think we brought Brett once, which was I think our purple edit season, whatever that was called.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, I think Malcolm's great. I'm excited to see how he does.
agreed, agreed.
Okay. This next person now, if you have been following our channel, you might remember he kind of took a retirement from our channel. He won a season and then said, "I'm doing this next All-Star and then I'm leaving. I'm out." Okay. But then he saw All-Stars 18 and he saw Joe King become a two-time winner, and he was like, "What? If this schlub can be a two-time winner, then I need to put myself
Watch the
back out
self-talk,
there."
Joe. This is headcanon, so I know you're calling yourself a schlub.
I need to get myself back out there. He retired when only Parvati was a two-time winner, and she won because of Winners at War. And now it's become a lot more commonplace for a winner to get a second to win.
Yeah, Series 5, we've had so far two different people from outside their respective introduction series make it as a two-time winner. So, it is definitely more possible than ever. Obviously, A, we have a lot of winners. B, um, it's one of those things where we've seen it, happening more and more. So, like you said, they're going to start coming out the woodwork.
Yeah,
So like it's really going to be about the three-time winner, whoever gets the honor of being the first ever three-time winner
yeah,
that people are going to covet now. But obviously, in order to get the three, you have to get to two, or at the very least one.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, what was it? Rob hasn't played since let's see here, season our 27 for us, and we are now currently on 94.
94. Wow.
That is a
Which
big
means,
gap.
guys, in series or 94, let me do my math.
It'll be
So in
20 will
series,
be 100.
oh, right at 20, it'll be 100.
No, no. I mean, it will be
Season
in the
20.
season. It will be in season 20 as our hundreds.
Yeah, so that one's going to be crazy.
Yeah,
We already discussed what we're going to do. But yeah, so also, wow, we've done 100. We've almost done 100 of these.
yeah,
We'll get more sentimental then. But yeah, Rob, obviously, big important person on our channel, especially in the earlier days. So I'm glad he's back. Throwing his ring in there. Like I said, I like this season because we got to bring out some people we haven't seen in a while.
yeah.
And Rob is definitely one of them.
Exactly, exactly. Okay.
All right. Next up, we have Tina Wesson from, ironically enough, from her go about at 27 on her in actual Survivor. And yeah, so it's one of those things where because she makes it back, um, an argument could be made because, of how Tyson treated some of the jury members and stuff like that during the game and stuff. Um, and like also like does Monica get the win? Does, Jarvis get the win? It's one of those things where it's like I think Tina had a very strong chance of being a two-time winner if she made it to that final tribal, no matter who she sat with. I don't think she flat out wins, but I think she has a strong, strong argument.
Yeah, I think she beats Tyson. I think it's close. Like I don't think it's like, oh, Tina got this in the bag. But I do think I would give her the edge if that ended up coming to it. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah. Interestingly enough, in terms of actual Survivor, she's the only person who actually won Survivor who has made it to the Fallen Angels.
Yeah. Um, which was one of the things where when I was like I said, when I was looking at the list, obviously there's only 44 eligible people, and I did kind of notice that more men fell in this category than women. And I was like debating whether or not to bring Tina, but I was also like, I really like Tina. And also she's like an iconic, contestant. So I have to bring her. So yeah.
Okay, we'll see how Tina fares in this. That's
All right.
last one.
Last but last but not least, we got Yao Man. Yao Man has been a favorite of mine. It's that one of those iconic moments. Like Fiji isn't really regarded with as being one of the best seasons. It's in a lot of people's bottom five, which I understand why, because there's two, maybe three standouts. One of them was Yao Man, and it was like him and Earl, who were pretty much teamed up the entire time. And if it wasn't for his dreams going back on his deal and stuff, and Yao Man possibly making it to the end, an argument could be made that Earl, I don't think becomes the first unanimous winner. For first of all, I think at least one or two votes go to Yao Man. Both of them played a pretty similar game too, so I think it's a toss up where the votes go.
I think it's a very clear Yao Man wins. I'll just say
I
it.
don't know. I mean, I feel Yao Man definitely was fan favorite, and I don't want to say that he clearly wins because I give a lot of respect to Earl's game in that season as well, but I
Yeah.
feel like I personally would have liked Yao Man to win. However, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't also be like, Earl played a pretty solid game too.
Yeah, I think Earl played, I'd say, a decent game. I mean, it was great for back then. Like for
Yeah,
the time, it was great for back then. But it was pretty kind of middle of the like he just kind of did everything just like solid. Like I'd say he if you like graded a lot of his things, he was hitting like sevens and eights out of tens, like pretty much consistently.
that's
Um,
fair.
which is great, but I think Yao Man was hitting a lot more tens. And I think just in general, people liked him. I think that they would have been way more willing to give it to him in terms of that as well. Like I think I mean, it's hard to say because it's weird judging like way back in the day because it's such different games from how we can like look at like modern Survivor. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's just hard to say that Yao Man doesn't get at least say like six of those votes. Honestly,
Yeah, it's tough. Honestly, it's one of those things where it's tough to really say.
yeah.
But no, like obviously, I like your argument because I would have loved for Yao Man to win that season. But yeah. All right. So with that being said, that is everyone.
Mhm.
On this tribe, who would you say is your top three?
Top three on the Vanua tribe. I'd have to go with Jesse, Wentworth, and Devons.
I'm gonna have to go with Ozzy, Lex, and Kelly.
Okay.
But honorable mentions to Jesse and Rick.
Okay. Cool, cool. Okay, and then the Takali tribe. I'd have to go. I'm gonna go with Carson, Suri, and Rob C.
All right. I as well will choose Suri. I also want Jerry, and I'd say it's true. Because I brought her so much, we've both brought her so much, Lauren Beck. I feel like, I feel like I really kind of want her, to win. So I'm gonna
Oh,
say her, but Yao Man is a very close fourth place, close to being third. Like in my head, it was like one or the other.
sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, you ready to hop into this?
Let's do it.
Okay, Malcolm has found the legacy advantage.
Interesting.
Okay, no alliances. Okay, who wins the first tribal immunity? The Takali tribe wins immunity. They also win Flints.
Good on them.
And Ozzy finds the Vanua tribe hidden immunity idol.
Very good, very good.
Jenna has a major meltdown.
She's been out of it so long, she doesn't know what to do. She's like, I've
Yeah.
barely been on the Brantsteeles. I don't know what.
We also have our first alliance here: Sydney, Lex, Ozzy, and Devons.
Interesting.
David and Jerry have a small fight.
All right.
And we got our first alliance here of Sari, Jerry, and Tina. Some old school women coming here.
Yeah. I can see him running the game.
Yeah.
Well, Suri has a reputation on her channel for not wanting to stick around for alliances,
Yeah.
so we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Who is going to be the first boots here? I mean, I'm just gonna say Denise because I think if that's the one person on here, I'd be okay leave it losing.
I'd say maybe Denise, maybe Brett.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a weird like part of me that wants to see Brett like do nothing in the game but make it to like the end again.
Possible. I mean, it's a 1 in 10 shot, and even the alliance we
Yeah.
have, it's not a majority. Granted, it's the only alliance we have, but still.
Okay. First vote goes to Jenna. Second vote goes to Kelly. Third vote goes to Jenna. Fourth vote goes to Jenna.
Well, Jenna's gone.
Fifth vote goes to Jenna. Sixth vote goes to Jenna, and Jenna unanimously. Everyone wants her out.
It was that outburst, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Maybe don't have an outburst on episode one.
that, yeah, I can see why that not work out for a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. And the Takali tribe wins immunity again. They also win a tarp. Brett and Denise have a small fight.
They heard they heard me, and then they were like, well, no, who should go first? What, why? And then they're like arguing. It was like, wait, I think you should go. Well, no, you should go. Like,
Yeah, I think it's one of these two next.
yeah,
And Wentworth, Ozzy, and Devons making an alliance.
Ozzy, he's playing that. Well, Ozzy and Rick, they play in that social game.
Yep. David and Yauman have a minor disagreement.
I see that.
Rob and Yauman have a small fight.
He,
And Jerry leaves his alliance, not Sari.
what's happening here?
Yeah, I don't know. This tribe just like exploded.
What's with all this discourse?
Okay. So Brett or Denise, I'm going to say I want Denise.
I'm semi-impartial to both.
Yeah. First vote goes to Denise. Second vote goes to Jesse. Third vote goes to Denise. Fourth vote goes to Jesse. Fifth vote goes to Denise. Sixth vote goes to Denise, and Denise voted out. So wait, Brett and Denise voted together.
I guess they were like they knew they were on the bottom, and then they were like, "Who are they going to vote out?" It's like, I think it should be you. I think it should be you. Let's vote for Jesse just in case.
I don't know. That's some weird logic there.
I guess maybe they knew that it was up to them anyway, so they might as well like I don't know, vote for
Yeah.
someone they would like to see voted off when they're gone.
Yeah.
Just have someone's name out there.
And Suri finds the Takali tribe hidden immunity idol.
Very good.
Nice. Okay. Who wins immunity? And the Vanua tribe wins immunity. They are safe at least. At least Brett's safe this round.
Yes.
They also win comfort items. Sydney and Jesse have a small fight. Brett and Cass bond strongly.
That's cool.
And that's all there. Rob and Yowman find something in common.
Okay.
Carson is impressing the rest of the team. Jerry is impressing the rest of the team. And the alliance of Suri and Tina dissolves as a new majority alliance comes here between Carson, Suri, Jerry, Rob, Tina, and Yowman.
Well, I guess they dissolved it because it was like, okay, we just need more people to
Yeah.
balance each other out.
Yeah, they got Jerry back in here, but clearly she is, I think, maybe okay with just like one vote working with them.
Yeah. Well, it's like, as long as you're not one of the first ones to go on your tribe,
Yeah.
that seems like a good enough reason to be a six in anyone's alliance.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they got the numbers there. Uh who's not in that? It's Lauren,
Kathy, David,
David, Kathy,
Malcolm wasn't in that either. And then
Malcolm.
Lauren.
Yeah. So it's one of those four.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
I'm gonna say we're losing Kathy.
I'd say out of the four, probably.
Yeah.
That's one I'm okay with losing.
I know
Sorry.
David had the fight with Yowman, so maybe Yowman gets the votes to go on David, but I don't know.
It's possible.
Yeah. First vote goes to Lauren. Second vote goes to David. Third vote goes to Lauren. Fourth vote goes to Lauren. Fifth vote goes to
Well, that's not
Lauren.
fun.
Sixth vote goes to Lauren, and Lauren unanimously voted out.
Just hype this woman up and now she's gone.
And she's just gone. Third boot. Okay. Who's going to win? Reward. Takali Tribe wins reward. They win a grill with meats, vegetables, and spices.
Nice.
And that fuels them to win immunity. Brett is back on the chopping block.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good for him.
Lex has a major meltdown. Brett and Kelly find something in common. And a new line forms between Brett, Jesse, and Kelly.
Okay.
Okay, Brett's
He's part of,
trying. He's trying
yeah.
some stuff. Yao Man has a major meltdown.
He has no one to fight with right now.
Yeah. Oh no, he's got David. David and Yao Man have a small fight.
He was like, I need to fight with someone. Just screams in his face.
And Carson leaves this alliance.
It was like, it's too much, Yao. It's really tough to say because there's three different alliances going on.
Yeah. Who's not in alliances? I mean, Lex just
Cass.
had that meltdown, so It might be
Cass
Lex.
is not in
Cass.
any alliance.
Oh yeah.
So I'd say probably Cass or Lex.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe. I think Brett's social game the last two episodes might have saved him.
Yeah.
First vote goes to Lex. Second vote goes to Lex. Third vote goes to Jesse. Fourth vote goes to Lex. Fifth vote goes to Jesse. Sixth vote goes to Lex, and Lex
Dang.
is voted out. So Sydney is on the outs there.
Well, none of that's going to matter too much because
We
the
got a tribe swap into three different tribes here. Okay. So
well,
the new tribe is Brett versus the world in Carson, David, Malcolm, and Tina. Brett is really going for an underdog story this season so far.
yeah.
Takali is Sydney, Jerry, Kathy, Kelly, and Ozzy.
All right.
And the new Ikabula is Sari, Jesse, Cass, Rick, Rob, and Yowman.
All right. So I can kind of see we have like extremes on both sides of like, oh, we just take out the other thing. And Ikabula really depends on who finds those idols, who where do things want to lie. Suri has her idol, so she potentially could have two.
Yeah, true, true, true. Okay, let's go into here. And not much. Yowman finds the Ikabula tribe hidden immunity idol.
Very good.
Okay, who's winning immunity? Vanua tribe wins immunity, and Ikabula wins immunity. Okay. No events occurred. Kathy works hard at camp and becomes tired.
And that's it.
And Suri and Cass bond strongly. And Jerry now leaves this alliance.
Jerry, come on.
She saw how well it works for Suri, right? And she's like, okay, I guess I just gotta join alliances and then leave.
I think she may be leaving because she knows she's going. She's at the bottom of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's either Jerry or Kathy.
Yeah, because of the Lions leave, I'm actually going to think more of Jerry.
Mm-hmm. First vote goes to Kathy. Second vote goes to Kathy. Third vote goes to Kelly, and Kathy is voted off.
We've been seeing a lot of unanimous kind of like
Yeah, everyone is voting like,
safe.
yeah, maybe one person's out of the loop, but like, yeah,
Most are kind of intuitive with what's going on.
yeah, interesting. Okay, let's go to reward. And the Takali tribe wins reward. They win baked goods, iced tea, and milk. And the Vanua tribe wins reward. They win chocolate chip cookies.
All right, who's going?
Vanua tribe wins immunity, and the Takali tribe wins immunity. So Ikabula with two idols in play.
All right.
Brett and Malcolm bond strongly. Carson is completely worn out, but is not giving up. And Sydney leaves this alliance.
Hmm.
Sydney's out. Jesse and Rob have a small fight. Jesse has a major meltdown. Okay, well, are we losing a winner here in Jesse?
He did have the meltdown.
You just fought with Rob Cesternino.
Yeah. And the purple side, both of them have the items. So
Yeah. Okay. First vote goes to Jesse. Second vote goes to Jesse. Third vote goes to Jesse. Fourth vote goes to Rick. And
yeah,
Jesse, another 5-1 vote. 1 vote. Wow. 1 vote. 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 1 Why upset people?
Yeah, go with the flow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is the last one before we reach the merge.
Yeah. Okay. Ukabula. Okay. Who wins reward? Takali tribe wins reward. They win a visit from a chef. And the
Nice.
Vanua tribe wins reward. They win kebabs.
Very cool.
And the Vanua tribe wins immunity, and the Ikabula tribe wins immunity. So that 4-person tribe going tribal.
Soon to be three. It could end up in do four go to rocks or is it fire? If it's
It's rocks. So if two people will be safe, and then two people have to draw rocks.
oh yeah, that actually happened to me in a Brantsteele.
Yeah.
As in me. As in I went home because of that stupidity.
Yeah. uh
A personal one, not one we've done on the channel.
yeah. Brett and David have a small fight. Sydney and Jerry bond strongly. That's all we're getting there. And Tina now leaves this alliance. And Suri works hard at camp and becomes tired. So Jerry just tried to get in with Sydney. Uh Now I would like rocks. I think rocks would be funny.
No.
I think let's have Jerry and Kelly be safe because they vote for each other. And then Ozzy and Sydney have to go to rocks.
How about no, Joe? No rocks.
Let's get rocks. Oh, Ozzy uses the idol on Kelly.
All right.
First vote goes to Kelly, does not count. Second vote goes to Kelly, does not count. Third vote goes to Sydney.
Dang.
And Sydney. Wow. So Kelly and Ozzy must have realized Sydney was willing to flip with Jerry. And so
Yeah.
instead of just taking out Jerry, they took out someone. They took out one of their own. Wow.
Hmm. All right. Well, we have made it.
Yes, we are at the merge now.
I
So
think
far, everything has been pretty down the line except for that
forward.
last tribal.
With that being said, I think Ozzy's playing a pretty possibly the best game out of the bunch. He was on a number of alliances along with Rick Devens on that one tribe in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Other than that, like I see alliances being made, but people are slowly like dripping out. I gotta shout out Suri, obviously, and yeah, man, they both have idols. They're both, whenever they're in an alliance and they stick around, they tend to do good. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely say I think Brett's got a good underdog story here. Same with Jerry. Honestly, I think both of them kind of seemed like they were in some tough situations and they managed to get themselves out of it. So good on them. Um, yeah. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Malcolm finds the reward steal. Okay. Okay. Who wins first individual immunity? Malcolm.
Malcolm.
Good on him.
I think he's getting that winner at it this season.
Yeah, definitely. Suri and Yauman bond strongly. David and Jerry have a small fight. And Yauman is impressing the rest of the team.
He's like, I'm not getting to arguments now, you know?
Yeah, I'm like bonding with people.
All right.
Yeah,
This is tough to say. Probably one of the underdogs, mostly because, well,
yeah,
they're underdogs for a reason, and probably one of them has to go first.
yeah. I'm gonna say Jerry. I think we lose Jerry here.
Yeah.
First vote goes to David. Second vote goes to David. Third vote goes to David. Fourth vote goes to David. Fifth vote goes to
Is
David.
this another unanimous?
Sixth vote goes to David.
Are they like, do we even need to show the other one?
Seventh vote goes to Carson.
I guess we do, but
Wow, that is I don't think that's even possible, honestly. Like, if you actually were trying to run like 100 different Survivor merge scenarios for a 13-person tribe to do a 12-1 vote is crazy.
like the person might have had to have messed up a lot in order
Yeah,
for that to happen. Even when it has happened on
yeah,
Survivor, it seldom ever goes that way.
yeah. Wow. Okay, David. At least you made the jury.
Already did.
Okay, going to reward challenge. Group number one is Brett, Cherie, Cass, Kelly, Rob, and Tina. Group number two is Carson, Jerry, Malcolm, Ozzy, Rick, and Yowman. And group number two wins reward. They win a trip to a poolside resort with a feast of burgers, fries, and cocktails.
Nate,
And Brett wins immunity.
good on him.
Good on him. Rick is impressing the rest of the team. Cherie is impressing the rest of the team. Carson and Jerry bond strongly, and a new line forms between Brett and Malcolm, the Immunity Bros.
Community Bros. It's a good
Yeah,
one. And it's pretty strong too.
yeah,
It's really tough to say who because we keep getting these, you know, sacrifice one person, the nose go method. We haven't really seen that since our captain's curse.
yeah. Are we getting another one? I mean, that's people's got to start playing their own games. Like, don't let a herd mentality dictate what happens in the season.
We're halfway through, and so far that has been the that's how it's been. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's probably gonna be how the rest of the game goes.
First vote goes to Cass.
Well, Cass is gone.
Second vote goes to Carson. Third vote goes to Carson. Fourth vote goes to Carson. Fifth vote goes to Carson. Sixth vote goes to
Okay.
Cass. Seventh vote goes to Cass.
Brantsteele hurt us.
Eighth vote goes to Carson. Ninth vote goes to Carson. And Carson, 9-3. I mean, still though, only two other people tried to shake things up.
Brett, who's been on the bottom.
Yeah. So let's see. So it's Carson, Jerry, and Tina voted Cass.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to reward challenge. Group number one is Jerry, Cass, Malcolm, Ozzy, and Tina. Group number two is Brett, Cherie, Kelly, Rick, and Yowman. Rob does not participate and cannot win a reward. As group number two win reward, they win a trip to a floating restaurant with pizza, chicken wings, and beer within viewing range of the camp and letters from home.
Man.
And Malcolm wins immunity.
Very good.
Kelly is impressing the rest of the team. Ozzy has a major meltdown.
He's like, but winning challenges is my thing.
Yeah, he wants to be part of the immunity bros, but they're like, sorry, you gotta win immunity first. Cass is completely worn out, but is not giving up.
I think it might be Jerry or Tina. And it's gonna be like
Yeah,
a 10-1.
yeah, I think we're losing Jerry here. First vote goes to Cass. Second vote goes to Brett. Third vote goes to Kelly.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
fourth vote goes to Cass. Fifth vote goes to Kelly. Sixth vote goes to Brett. Seventh vote goes to Cass. Eighth vote goes to Kelly. Ninth vote goes to Brett. 10th vote goes to Kelly. We are tied between Brett and Kelly.
All right, here we go. Some interesting
Yeah.
so this can go so many ways. I
Yeah,
think
depending on how who voted for who, could I like there's a chance this goes to rocks, but it also a chance that if Brad and Kelly voted against each other, then the three votes who voted for Cass will decide one of those two going home.
there's only one way to find out.
Yeah. First vote goes to Brett. Second vote goes to Kelly. Third vote goes to Brett. Fourth vote goes to Kelly. Fifth vote goes to Kelly. Sixth vote goes to Brett. Seventh vote goes to Kelly. And
Damn.
Kelly Wentworth taken
Just
out.
missing it out on the halfway.
Yeah. Um. So let's see. So Yao flipped from Brett to Kelly. Malcolm flipped from Cass to Kelly. Kelly had originally voted for Cass, and Brett had voted for Cass. So yeah,
Oh.
Brett and Kelly were voting together. So
It was really Malcolm that just had to be like, well, I got to vote for someone.
yeah,
I'm not going to vote for my immunity, bro.
yeah. Okay, let's go to reward challenge. Group number one is Brett, Sheree, and Rick. Group number two is Jerry, Ozzy, and Rob. Group number three is Cass, Tina, and Yao Man. Malcolm does not participate, but automatically wins rewards. I was
That's
going to say this could be a great one for a reward steal, right? If you're just not even allowed to participate in it, but he just wins it.
yeah,
And group number one wins rewards. They win an aerial tour of the local area, followed by a survivor feast.
nice. Does Brett win?
And
No,
Rick,
Rick.
maybe he can join the Immunity Bros now.
Maybe.
Malcolm and Ozzy have a minor disagreement.
Feel like nope, still
He's
count.
like, I
Doesn't
should have
count.
won that challenge. Suri and Rick bond strongly.
All right.
Now, do you take a crack at the Immunity Bros?
I think you have to. I mean, like there is a, whenever there's a dent, a crack in the armor, you have to go for it.
Yeah. Okay. First vote goes to Brett. Second vote goes to Jerry. Third vote goes to Malcolm.
Oh, they are targeting the bros.
Fourth vote goes to Malcolm. Fifth vote goes to Jerry. Sixth vote goes to Malcolm. Seventh vote goes to Malcolm, and Malcolm
And
had a great edit, but I think he just was too front and center for the season. And
so
he is gifting the legacy advantage to his immunity, bro.
yeah, I would have been surprised if it went to anyone else.
Yeah. So Sari, Jerry, Cass, Ozzy, Rick, Rob, and Yowman voted Malcolm. Brett and Malcolm voted Jerry, and Tina on her own voted Brett.
Hmm. All right. So that means Brett just has to win out. That's all
Yeah.
he can do.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, reward challenge. Yowman wins rewards and shares it with Sari, Rob, and Ozzy. And this is the loved ones.
Yeah. No one can steal it now.
And Brett wins immunity.
Very good.
Okay. Ozzy and Rick have a small fight.
He's, he's like, but
And
you won one.
a new alliance forms between Brett, Ozzy, Rick, Rob, Tina, and Yowman.
That means there are only three contestants that aren't in there. I don't see Sari anywhere. I don't see who else is not there. We're about to find out.
Yeah, yeah.
So Sari, Jerry, and Cass were not in that alliance.
Yeah. Um I think you take out Jerry. I think Jerry's gonna be the one going home here.
Yeah, I mean her name's popped up a lot, so probably about time.
Mhm. Okay, first vote goes to Ozzy. Second vote goes to Jerry. Third vote goes to Jerry. Fourth vote goes to Cass. Fifth vote goes to Cass. Sixth vote goes to Cass. Seventh vote goes to Cass. Eighth vote goes to Jerry. One vote left. And Cass taken out. Somehow Jerry's still in the game. So Jerry, Ozzy, Rick, Rob, and Yowman voted Cass. Brett, Cass, and Tina voted Jerry, and Sari, only person to vote for Ozzy.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, let's do a little assessment here. Yeah, who's playing the best? Who would you say?
I'd say Brett. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, he's on the bottom, but now he's in this majority alliance. And he keeps finding his ways to keep moving forward in this
yeah.
game.
It feels like
I
he keeps getting put on the bottom, and then the next episode he has a social game that gets him not on the bottom anymore.
Yeah. I'd say still keep an eye on Sari and Yao Man because of the idols. And I think their games are a bit more silent. I feel Rick is playing a decent game, and so is Ozzy. Yeah.
Okay.
Jerry, she's playing from the bottom. She's trying to find her way in.
Yeah. Okay. Who wins immunity? Yao Man wins immunity.
Wizard stuff.
Wizard stat. That's a great name for a Yao Man win, I feel. Ozzy and Yao Man have a major fight.
Ozzy is being a sore loser right now.
Yeah, he was playing such a good pre-merge, and then he was like, he just figured he was win immunities, and now that he can't win, he's like blowing up his game just because of it.
Yeah.
Jerry and Rob find something in common, and Brett rests at camp to restore his energy. Okay,
I think probably Jerry. If Sari plays her idol here, she might be good, but it's tough to say. I think Jerry
yeah,
has just garnered so much attention.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
they flip on Ozzy because of his behavior.
yeah. It's probably one of these three. But I would say I would go Jerry 1, 3, 2, Ozzy 3.
Fair.
And Suri uses the hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast against Suri will not count. First vote goes to Suri, does not count. Second vote goes to Suri, does not count. Third vote goes to Suri, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Brett. Fifth vote goes to Jerry. Sixth vote goes to Brett. Seventh vote goes to Jerry. One vote left, and Jerry is voted out.
Still played right, but dang.
Yeah, that almost went bad for one of the immunity bros.
She knew that she knew it was her Jerry or Jerry. It would make
Yeah,
sense to split votes. So yeah,
yeah,
had to play the idol.
yeah. They were hoping that they would just put all the votes on and maybe get a Brett vote out there, but that was smart play by the majority. Okay, immunity. And Yao Man wins Pinball Wizard.
He is the wizard master.
He really is. Yao Man has a major meltdown though.
He's like, just because I'm a nerd doesn't mean I'm a wizard.
Brett and Sari bond strongly. Rick and Yao Man have a minor disagreements.
Rick's like, just embrace your inner wizard.
Yeah, it's okay. People like wizards and nerds now. Ozzy is completely worn out, but is not giving up.
He's been giving his A game in every challenge and just falling short each time.
Yeah, I imagine he's like constantly like second place. Like he is just
Yeah.
constantly missing out.
I think it's gonna be Suri though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a easy vote here for Suri. Oh my gosh, Yao Man uses the idol on Suri.
Brilliant.
He knows where the vote's going. First vote goes to Suri, does not count. Second vote goes to Suri, does not count. Third vote goes to Suri, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Suri, does not count. Fifth vote goes to Ozzy.
Oh man.
Sixth vote
Ozzy,
goes to Brett.
we're losing what?
Brett has been
Damn.
idled out. He was having a good game.
He was.
So Brett, Ozzy, Rick, and Tina voted Suri, but then Suri and Rob voted Brett, and Yao Man voted Ozzy.
Well, hold on, Yao. You
Yeah,
you managed to save Suri. I don't know why,
yeah,
because I feel like she's probably one of the biggest threats to win this game,
yeah,
but you did.
yeah. And now, hey, Yao Man now gets the legacy advantage, which is good for this next tribal council.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're at the finale, so let's do our assessments.
I think well, I a lot of my attention was on Brett. So I think honestly it's between Suri and Yao Man. I think Yao Man has after that a slightly I think he has a much better argument, especially since he's with the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Though I don't know, because he did that and went against the plan, there could be some targets on him.
Yeah,
Uh I still think Ozzy and Rick may have a chance, mostly because they've been doing the alliance thing. I think Rick might have an edge over Ozzy in the sense of Rick hasn't been getting into fights with anyone,
yeah,
slash being a sore loser when he's lost immunity.
yeah. And then yeah, I feel like Rob and Tina haven't really been doing too much.
Not really.
And Yao Man finds the Vinaka tribe hidden immunity idol.
He is guaranteed for.
Yep. Okay, who wins immunity? Yao Man wins the Tower of Power. Are we looking at Wizard Tower?
Wizard Tower, yeah.
Yeah, he also wins a steak dinner with wine waiting at camp, and he shares it with Sari and Rob.
All right. So I don't think the legacy is the legacy transferable?
I think you can use it on someone else.
Okay.
And Ozzy leaves this alliance. This could be the end of Ozzy.
I can see it.
I
All
feel
right.
like
Well,
Suri's getting the votes, but if Ozzy, I mean, if Yauman uses his legacy advantage on Suri, I think we lose Ozzy.
it looks like it.
Yep, Yauman uses the legacy advantage on Suri.
Very
First
good.
vote goes to Suri, does not count. Second vote goes to Suri, does not count. Third vote goes to Suri, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Ozzy. And Ozzy, you couldn't win any challenges. You lost to Yao Man.
No.
Okay, so Ozzy, Rick, and Tina voted Suri. Suri, Rob, and Yao Man voted Ozzy.
All right, so I do see that final three that Yao Man is trying to form with the two winners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remind you.
Yeah. He must think that they're not going to want to vote for people who have already won.
I mean, Yao Man's been playing a pretty strong game, so I think
Yeah.
winner aside and whatnot, I still think it's his game to lose at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Who wins? Immunity. Yao Man wins immunity.
Let me guess, he gives the idol to Suri.
It's looking that way. Yao Man has a major meltdown.
He's like, I just wanted to play these. Why? I just don't even know. I think he's just melting down because he just hates being on the island.
Yeah. Rob is completely worn out, but is not giving up. Okay, so
I think it's
um
either Tina or Rick.
yeah, are we getting an idle play on the Suri and then losing one of these two? I'm gonna say Tina. I think I
I'm
think I think Rick has a little better relations with the other players.
fair. Yeah.
Oh, Yauman uses the idol on Rob.
Well, they have the numbers, so I
Yeah.
don't think
First vote goes to Suri. Second vote goes to Tina. Third vote goes to Tina. Fourth vote goes to Suri. One vote left. Suri.
Oh,
Ooh,
dude.
that's
The
a huge move.
what happened? Like,
Now man had a mental. He freaked out. He got told so that it was going to happen so many different ways, and he just his brain just
played it
exploded.
wrong.
Yeah,
He played it wrong. Maybe he
yeah,
was like, "Oh, we have the numbers. I can play it on my other ally." And the other ally flop. We
yeah,
switch.
yeah. You're looking at Rob Cesarino. He invented the flip strategy of flipping back and forth. Like, yeah, he's going to do that.
Man. All right. So yeah, man, feeling a bit vulnerable right now.
Yeah,
Uh, he lost his number one because his number two blindsided him. If he doesn't win this final one, he could be going home. He could be the fallen angel of
yeah,
fallen angels.
that would be pretty fitting. Okay, immunity. Yao Man
Or not.
wins immunity.
Very
Guaranteed
good.
spot in the final three. And Rick has a major meltdown.
All right.
Okay.
Might be Rick.
Yeah, I think we're losing either Rick or Tina.
I could
Um,
say Rob too. Maybe Yao Man was like, I didn't appreciate you you voting out it, we were supposed to vote out Tina.
yeah,
What the
that's
hell,
possible.
man?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I think all three of these have a chance of going home right here.
Yeah.
First vote goes to Rob. Second vote goes to Tina. Third vote goes to Tina. And Tina is the fallen angel on Fallen Angels.
All right. So I think Yao wins this.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Mm,
wonder, because I Yao Man and Rob played a lot of this together. So whenever I feel like there's one person who's like not in that type group, like maybe Rick gets some votes. Um,
Potentially.
because he was playing a good social game. We do have to recognize he was constantly in alliances that shaped most of the merge. He just kind of started
Oh,
losing it when Yao Man started popping off in the end game.
that's a good argument. And because Yao Man and Rob played a close game, maybe some people respect Rob's game more. That's
Yeah,
always a possibility.
yeah, they could split votes.
All right.
First vote goes to Rob. Second vote goes to Yao Man. Third vote goes to Rick. Fourth vote goes to Rick. Fifth vote goes to Rick. Sixth vote goes to Rob. Seventh vote goes to Yao Man. Eighth vote goes to Yao Man. Ninth vote goes to Yao Man. 10th and final vote goes to Rick. We are tied between Rick and Yao Man, with Rob making the final decision.
The secret funnel. Yeah, the secret fallen angel.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, um, what happens here? Does
He's been in the alliance with Yao Man, so it just makes sense.
Rob votes for Rick. Rick Devins has stolen a victory here.
Congrats, Joe, but oh, that's dirty.
I don't
Rob.
feel good about this one. I feel like Yao Man got robbed super hard.
He literally got robbed
Yeah, he
by a
did.
guy named Rob. Rob squared.
Wow, Rob, you made, I think, the wrong choice.
I'm stunned.
Well,
Man.
Rick, I guess you can join the winner circle. Not how I wanted you to have a win.
Yeah. Wow. Rob,
Yeah. So let's see.
why were you so salty here?
So Jerry, Cass, Ozzy, and Tina voted Rick. Brett, Carson, Sheree, and Kelly voted Yao Man, and David and Malcolm voted Rob.
Man.
And Ozzy wins the fan favorite award. What a weird season. This was a weird season.
I agree. I agree.
Like,
I want to see these statistics because maybe Rick was just hella, strategic and we just didn't see it as much.
strategic Ozzy, Rob, and Sheree.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yao Man with those challenge wins and idols. Yao Man didn't get anyone to vote against him.
Man.
I just feel like if you look at it on paper, Yao Man just played a better game.
Agreed. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I think Rob was just, I don't know, maybe he was bitter.
Yeah, there had to be something because clearly he was totally in with the Yao Man Suri, and that final five, something like changed in him that made him go against Yao Man.
Maybe it was like he didn't want because maybe Yao Man got so much of the glory that Rob was getting jealous.
Yeah, that is very possible.
Man. Either way, congrats to Rick Devens. I know he's your favorite, so him getting a win regardless is still pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, definitely cool. Just wish it would have been in a more dominating fashion. But I mean, Yao Man definitely going to be coming back. I mean, that was a very impressive game on Yao Man's part.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay, so that does it for this episode. We will see you all in the next one.
All right, peace out.